Now, the next topic is Biot-Savart's law. So, what we have so far discussed, that there is a current carrying conductor which produces a magnetic field around it, which was demonstrated by Oersted, and the strength of the magnetic field at a point due to the current carrying conductor was given by Biot and Savart's, known as Biot-Savart's law. So, Biot-Savart's law is the law which is used to calculate the magnetic field at a point due to a current carrying conductor. Clear? So, according to your Oersted experiment, if there is a current carrying conductor, it will produce a magnetic field around it. If we place a compass needle, what we observe near the current carrying conductor, it is deflected by the magnetic field produced by this conductor, current carrying conductor. Okay? Now, this is about your Oersted's experiment. The Biot-Savart's law is used to calculate the strength of the magnetic field at a point, at any point around a current carrying conductor. So, we can say that this Biot-Savart's law is used to determine, this is used to determine the magnetic field or strength of the magnetic field at a point due to a current carrying conductor. A current carrying conductor. Clear? So again I am repeating, Oersted experiment is to know that, or from Oersted experiment we know that there is a current carrying conductor, it produces a magnetic field. It is used to determine that magnetic field. What is the strength of the magnetic field at a point due to a current carrying conductor? Now what this law states? Now you see here, what this law states that, maybe I draw a figure, then you can know that. Let us consider there is a current carrying conductor like this. Let there is a current carrying conductor at any side. It is a conductor. And this conductor is externally connected like this. It is connected a positive and a negative like this to a battery. So the dotted line means it is connected, but we are considering only the conductor AB. AB is the current carrying conductor. Okay? So AB is my current carrying conductor. Let me make it a color one. So this is my current carrying conductor AB. AB is the current carrying conductor. Right? It is connected to a source. Okay? So this is the positive end and negative end. This is not required. The current is flowing. So what direction the current is flowing? This is the direction of current. Let the current is I. Let the current is I. For this current carrying conductor, consider a point P, which is some distance away from this conductor, away from this current carrying conductor. Clear? Point P is some distance away from this current carrying conductor. To calculate the magnetic field at this point P due to this current carrying conductor, we use the Biot-Savart's law, or the Biot's law is we will state the Biot-Savart's law. So to state that this current carrying conductor, right, of any length L, suppose this length is L, capital L, the length of the conductor is AB. which is equal to AB, and that is equal to L. Clear? The conductor AB of length is L. So to calculate the magnetic field at the point P, what we will do? Let us consider a small element like this. Let us consider a small element dl. Let us consider a small element. This is a very small element. I have shown this like, but it is very small element like this. dl. That is a very small element dl. Clear? From this conductor AB, the dl element can be taken from anywhere. For a small element dl, we can consider it anywhere on this conductor. So, according to this Biot-Savart's law, first we will calculate the magnetic field strength at the point P due to this current element dl. That we will first state. That we will state in Biot-Savart's law. So, for this small element dl, and let the point P is at a distance of r from the small element dl, and the P is a position vector. Suppose I will say this is the position vector form like this r with respect to this element. So this dl is not a length like that. That is a very small, means we can consider that this is a point also. So for a point, already you know that if P is a point with this origin, this is a position vector. If you define this position vector, already you know that position vector how we define. If it is the origin of a coordinate system, the point P means dl to P, that is the position vector of P with respect to dl. So what you can say, R is the position vector of P with respect to the element dl. And remember, this dl is not so much of length, it is very infinitely small. We can consider this for understanding. We have drawn this one. This is the portion of dl. Okay, this is very small element. And let this dl makes an angle theta with this r. And now this dl, if you multiply this dl with I dl, if you multiply the current is flowing in this IDL. This is a vector quantity and this is written like this, IDL. This IDL is called as the current element. This IDL is called as the current element. And if this IDL, and let this DL, IDL, what is its direction? Its direction is along the direction of current. Along the direction of current, and magnitude is I into dl. Magnitude is I into magnitude of dl. So this current element has direction like this. This is the direction of current, so IDL is along this direction. So IDL, current element, and the position vector R makes an angle theta. That is the point. So what this law states, for this current element IDL, and again explain this IDL, current into this small element, this is a vector. But if you consider a small element dl, that is the small element from the conductor. If you multiply this with I, the current in the conductor, this is called as the current element. This is called as the current element. Clear? So I dl is the current element. Is the current element. And if this is a vector, it is a vector quantity. Magnitude is I into dl. Direction, directed along the direction of current. Along the direction of current in the conductor. In the conductor. Remember this thing. This is very, very important. IDL is the current element and this is a vector quantity. Magnitude is I into dl multiplied. Small element is the current, but the direction is most important, along the direction of current in the conductor. Suppose in this conductor the current is flowing from B to A, then ideal will be from B to A. From this will be reversed. So now come to the law. So this law states what? Now come to the law. According to the law, the magnetic field at, according to the law, the magnetic field at the point P, due to the current element or due to the, according to the law, the magnetic field at the point P due to the current element is given by number 1, directly proportional to the current flowing in the conductor. Clear? Let that is I, first part. Number 2, directly proportional to the length element, directly proportional to the length element of the conductor, that is DL. 1 into we can combine also. We can write directly. Is given by directly proportional to the current element of the conductor, that is I into dl. I am taking in magnitude form. I am not considering direction. Direction part I will go later step. Then number 3 is the directly proportional to sin theta, sin of angle theta. What is that theta? When theta, let me write angle between, theta is the angle between current element and the line joining the current element to point P. Clear? Directly proportional to sin theta. What is this theta? Understand this one. Theta is the angle between current element and the line joining the current element to the point P. Clear? Next, number 4 is the inversely proportional to the square of the distance, of the element from point P, square of the distance of the element from point P, that is your R, magnitude. Clear? Read once again. Go through this once again. According to the law, the magnetic field at the point P due to the current element I am calculating for the small element. Then I will go for the total current element. One is directly proportional to the current flowing in the conductor. More is the current, the strength of the magnetic field at the point P will be more. Directly proportional to the length element of the conductor. If you consider this length element dl, if that dl is very very larger, means for this small element, if you consider for whole conductor, means dl will be changes to what? The total length heavy, then the strength will be more. Or combining this 1 and 2, you can write you can write directly proportional to the current element ideal. You can write 1 and 2. Number 3, directly proportional to sine of theta. Sine of angle. What you can write? Directly proportional to sine of angle between current element and the line joining the current element to the point P. Clear? Number 4, inversely proportional to the square of the distance of the element from point P. What is the distance? I am not considering the direction part. Direction part I will go later, vector form. I am only considering magnitude part. So this is a R square of inversely proportional to R square. Clear? Now if you combine all these things. So now combine all these things. Let me write. One by one I will write. For the small element, so the magnetic field naturally I will take small. That is dB proportional to first part I. dB is proportional to dl. dB is proportional to sin theta. dB is proportional to 1 by r square. According to your statement. Clear? According to the statement, these are the cases. Now let me erase this one. So now combining all these things, what we get? dB, combining the equations, combining the above equations. What I will get? dB is proportional to I dl sin theta by r square. If I make this is equal to dB equal to k I dl sin theta by r square, where k is equal to constant of proportionality. In SI for free space, k is equal to, as in magnetism, we will go to permeability of free space, mu naught by 4 pi. Mu naught by 4 pi. Okay? If you put all these things, what you will get again? I can write this dB is equal to, in SI, dB is equal to, I can write mu naught by 4 pi k, that is I dl sin theta by r square. So this is the statement we can see. So in direct one you can say the statement, according to Biot-Savart's law, the magnetic field at the point P due to the current element ideal is equal to dB, small element, mu naught by 4 pi. For small element, the magnetic field is dB. dB equal to mu naught by 4 pi. Ideal sin theta by r square. Clear? So this is the magnitude form. So this is the magnitude of the magnetic field. As you know, the strength of the magnetic field B is a vector quantity, and I have calculated this for a small element. If I go for the whole conductor, right? Suppose we will go for the whole conductor. For continuous flow of current I through the conductor, for continuous flow of current through the conductor, for continuous flow of current, through the conductor, the magnetic field at P due to the conductor, not the element, due to the conductor, that is AB, is B. Conductor AB is B is equal to integration of dB, that equal to integration of mu naught by 4 pi IDL sin theta by R square. That is the total magnetic field due to the conductor, and this is in a magnitude of the magnetic field due to the current carrying conductor. Clear? Magnitude of the magnetic field due to the current carrying conductor AB. Now we will write this in a vector form, because we have considered this position vector and ideal is a vector quantity. So I can write this as this in terms of vector form. So clear? Now we will go to write this in a vector form. Now come to the in vector form. The Biot-Savart law can be written as in vector form. How can we write that? For small element dB. For small element, the magnetic field is dB. Same magnitude mu naught by 4 pi. But which are the vectors? Ideal is a vector. I is not a vector individually. DL is not a vector. The current element is a vector. So I can write like this: I dl cross R divided by RQ. Remember, this is RQ. Now we will get this one. What is this R? R is the position vector. So, as you know, dl cross R means what? A cross B. AB sin theta. Similarly, dl cross R. What do we get? dl R sin theta. Ideal cross R. Ideal R sin theta. Put that here. Now we get. Now check this one. This equal to mu naught by 4 pi. If you consider this is a vector form. If you pour the magnitude, what you have already stated in the Biot-Savart law, the magnitude of mu naught of 4 pi, ideal cross R, A cross B, ideal R sin theta, ideal R sin theta divided by R cube, 1 R get cancelled, so it is a R square. Now this is your mu naught by 4 pi. The magnitude is what? Mu naught by 4 pi ideal sin theta by R square. What is the magnitude? Already you have derived. Isn't it? This is already you have derived. So this is in vector form you can write like this. Okay. Then R you can say that the position vector of the point P with respect to the current element. And the current element you will consider like your origin. If you recall position vector term, if this is my origin and this is the point P, what is the position vector? From the origin to the point P. And you remember this is your ideal. In this case, this point is your ideal, very small element, and this is your R. Okay? So like in a coordinate form, coordinate system. Clear? So this is my vector form. In the Biot-Savart law is in a vector form. Clear? So now, from this expression or Biot-Savart law, this magnitude, already you know the magnitude and the in vector form. If I write in vector form, then there is a question arises in our mind that if it is a vector, then what is its direction? This dB. But when you calculate for the whole conductor, in vector form this is for small element, for the conductor, same procedure. For the conductor AB, B is equal to in vector integration of dB. that is equal to integration of mu naught by 4 pi I dl cross r by r cube. And for the conductor length is defined, in some cases if it is defined, you can put the limits from here to here. This dl changes. The dl starts from 0, it goes to L suppose. Suppose it starts from minus L by 2 to plus L by 2. Suppose it starts from 0 to L, then if you take, this is the scale, this is 0 and this goes to L, so I can take 0 to L. That's the limit you can say. When you apply this Weierstrass law, how the limit will be considered, that you will see in later step. So this is our Weierstrass law. This is our Weierstrass law. And we stated the Weierstrass law. Clear? Okay. Now the question is, what is the direction of this magnetic field or this B? What is the direction? If it is a vector, as it is a vector, its magnitude is mu naught by 4 pi I dl sin theta by r square. That is the magnitude. But what is its direction? When this is the magnitude, what is its direction? As you know, if there are cross product two vectors, a new vector, the cross product two vectors is a new vector, and as this is a cross product two vectors, and that is a new vector, then the new vector is perpendicular to the plane containing the two vectors. So, if this is the current carrying conductor, this is the current carrying conductor, and this is the point P, and I am drawing like this. This is the point P, and this is the current carrying conductor, and this is your R. Then what is the direction of this one? This direction of dB is perpendicular to the plane containing dl, ideal, and R vector. So ideal means this is the small elements, consider this ideal along this direction. Suppose in this case this is ideal, suppose along this direction, and this is R. So on which plane? They are in this plane. Then what is this dB? Perpendicular to the plane. It may be like this. It may be like this, perpendicular to the plane containing this. Because it is the point P, we are calculating the magnetic field at the point P due to this current carrying conductor. So it will be like this, or it may be like this, perpendicular to the plane. Means in this case, this is outward or it is inward. And this outward and inward, the direction of this dB can be known by the right hand thumb rule. This can be determined by the right hand thumb rule. Okay, how this we can determine? The direction of B, the direction of dB or B is determined by the right hand thumb rule or screw rule. Already you know about cross product. Or you can write it is perpendicular to the plane containing dl, ideal, and R. It is perpendicular to the plane containing ideal and R. Whether it is inward or outward, that can be by the right hand thumb rule. And the sense means whether it is inward or outward. And the sense can be determined by the right hand thumb rule or screw rule. Right hand thumb rule or right hand screw rule. So now here you can say that, so it is the perpendicular to the plane containing ideal and R, and the sense can be determined by the right hand thumb rule or right hand screw rule. Now in this case, you tell me what will be the direction. by observing this figure, in this point P, due to this current element, what is the direction of this dB? What is the direction of this dB? Magnetic field at this point. It is perpendicular to the plane, means it may be like this or this, inward or outward. How can you know that? It is dl cross r. What is this thing? Right hand thumb rule. Place this along the direction of ideal, along this direction. So thumb, the fingers will be along the direction of first vector, ideal cross r, A cross B, ideal along this, the fingers, the thumb will be like this, stretched. It is towards what? Ideal to R, ideal to R, R is in this direction, so R is here is ideal, this is R, ideal to R, so what is the direction? This is the direction, ideal R, what is the direction? The thumb is perpendicular inward. So to represent that perpendicular inward, the magnetic field I can put like a cross. To represent that, if a magnetic field is perpendicular inward, like this we can show, or for outward, we can say dot. Means it is perpendicular to the plane outward, it is perpendicular to the plane inward. So in this figure, it is like that. If this ideal is in opposite direction, then the sense will be ideal cross R, right? The sense will be ideal cross R like this. Ideal is like along this direction, this is R, so ideal cross R means perpendicular outward. According to that, you can know the direction. Clear? So this is about the Biot-Savart's law. Now from this Biot-Savart's law, we can take the special cases like case 1. When theta is equal to 0 degree. When this theta is equal to 0 degree. When this theta is equal to 0 degree means the point will be on what? Along the axis of the conductor. Theta will be 0 degree means the point P will be along this line or along this line on this axis of the conductor. When theta is equal to 0 means along the line of the conductor. Then dV for this element dV or for the total what? Then sin theta is equal to what? 0. Sin theta is equal to what? Sin 0, 0. So dB is equal to 0. Means there will be no magnetic field produced on the point, at a point on this conductor, on the axis of the conductor. If you take any point on this axis of the conductor, then P is on this line. Then the magnetic field is 0. Case 2. When theta is equal to 90, sin 90, what? That is the maximum. Then dV is equal to mu naught by 4 pi I dl by r square, sin theta is 1. This is the maximum value. Means if the point P is perpendicular like this, not like this, if it is perpendicular 90, then point P, then the magnetic field will be maximum. If the point P is here, then the magnetic field is maximum. So what you get the conclusion here? The strength of the magnetic field is different for different point around the conductor. Means this is suppose R, the same R. Here is the point P. It is also suppose same R. Right? So if this angle theta, what the magnetic field here? Because of this element that is different to this point P, which is at a perpendicular. Means if this is a current carrying conductor, if this is the point P, what is the magnetic field here? If you consider another point P for the small element, then the magnetic field is different. Right? The magnitude may be same. The magnitude may be same, but the direction will be different. Clear? So this is about the different cases of Biot-Savart's law for a small element. Is that clear? Now, from here we will go to the, from here, this magnetic field calculation. Now we will go to the next thing is that, from here, we We'll now compare this Biot-Savart's law with our Coulomb's law. Now we'll compare this Biot-Savart's law to our Coulomb's law. Now if you compare this Biot-Savart's law and Coulomb's law, means Coulomb's law, by using this Coulomb's law means by using this Coulomb's law for electric field. The Coulomb's law for electric field says that, let me say Coulomb's law. This is for Coulomb's law for electric field, or electric field, and Biot-Savart's law for magnetic field. Biot-Savart's law for magnetic field. Now if you compare these two, now let me write for Biot-Savart's law. For a small element dB is equal to mu naught 4 pi IDL sin theta by r square. But Coulomb's law for electric field we apply. By using this Coulomb's law, we calculate the force. From that force, you can calculate the electric field for a charge. So for Coulomb's law, d for a small charge dq, d is equal to what you can write? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, that is permittivity of free space. Then dq by r square. Now compare these two. Here, the magnetic field is produced, but it means, first point is that the Biot-Savart's law states, or from the Biot-Savart's law, it obeys the inverse square law. dB is inversely proportional to r square. Here also the electric field is inversely proportional to r square. Both obey the inverse square law. But the main difference is that this charge is a scalar quantity. This scalar quantity gives you the electric field. And here, this ideal is a vector quantity. This ideal gives you the magnetic field. The current element gives magnetic field. Here the charge gives the electric field. Ideal gives the magnetic field. The current gives the magnetic field. Here the charge gives the electric field. That is the most important difference between the Biot-Savart's law and Coulomb's law. And almost everything is same because it is mu naught. It is the permeability of free space. This is permittivity because it is electrostatics. This is in a magnetism or magnetic effect of electric current. So it is magnetic field. So it is mu naught by 4 pi. So this is the main difference between these two. And this thing is that here the point you have to remember that this electric field is the scalar quantity dq. This magnetic field is due to the vector quantity, that is your current element. That is the basic difference between the Coulomb's law for electric field and Biot-Savart's law in a magnetic field. Okay. So this is about our topic about the statement of Biot-Savart's law and what is the uses or how we can calculate the magnetic field at a point due to a current carrying conductor. Clear? Then, so this is about the Biot-Savart's law. By using this Biot-Savart's law, let me solve a small problem by using this small concept of Biot-Savart's law. In the next videos, we will go or we will apply this Biot-Savart's law to calculate the magnetic field of different form or different shape of the conductors. If the conductor is in a straight line or is a straight conductor, then we will calculate the magnetic field by using the Biot-Savart's law due to the long straight conductor. If it is a circular coil, then we will calculate the magnetic field at the center or at any point due to a circular coil. That we will do in the next video. But so far what we have discussed about this Biot-Savart's law, let me solve a small problem. Okay, let me write the problem. Now come to the question is like this. What is the discussion? From the discussion of Biot-Savart's law, let me attempt this question. An element delta L equal to delta x I cap is placed at the origin, means on a coordinate system at the origin, and carries a current of 2 ampere. Find out the magnetic field at a point on the y-axis at a distance of 1 meter due to the element delta x is equal to 1 c. Very small element, delta x is 1 c. Give also the direction of the magnetic field. So let me draw this figure. If I show this figure, Let this is the coordinate system. X dash, y dash. Let this is the origin, and this is the z and z dash. Right? Z and z dash. That's also this is the z, and to this one downward, that is a z dash. So this is perpendicular to the plane, that is the z axis. Right? So you can show this is a or y dash and z dash. You can so you got this one because that z dash you are not able to show that z dash. So let this is the coordinate system, and the element is delta x I k. That is delta x is equal to 1 cm. So this is at the origin. Means this delta L is at this origin, which is delta x I cap is placed at the origin. I cap means in what direction the current is flowing. As you know, ideal is the current element. If this is the small element here, so it is ideal equal to delta L is equal to delta x into I cap means it is the direction. I cap gives you direction. Delta x is the magnitude. What is the direction? I cap means along positive x axis. This is the direction of I cap, and naturally this is the direction of current. Obviously this is the direction of current. And as you know, along y axis your j cap, along z axis your k cap. Already you know that rectangular components which are the unit vectors, or we can say that these are the orthogonal unit vectors or the rectangular unit vectors along x axis, y axis and z axis. Already you know that. Now in this part, the question is asked, find out the magnetic field at a point on the y axis at a distance of 1 meter. Let the point P is here, which is at a distance of 1 meter from the element. So now I can write this as what I can write here. See, your IDL is equal to, what is your I? Can you say current of 2 ampere? So this is 2. What is DL? Vector form, that is delta x I cap. What is delta x? That is given 1 centimeter. So if you make this is right, 2 into 1 cm, let us convert this ampere, all these things are in SI. 1 cm equal to 10 to the power minus 2 meter. 1 cm equal to 10 to the minus 2 meter. I cap, that is in meter. Right? So this is in meter, this is ampere, ampere meter. This is ideal. Then, what is this R? As it is a straight line, this R magnitude means if you write this is the magnitude of R is equal to a distance of 1 meter. So this is R. If I put the direction part, this magnitude into a unit vector along this R. R is along this direction. What is the direction of R and J? They are in the same direction, J cap. So I can write 1 into J cap. So R is equal to, at a distance of 1 meter means I can write R is equal to J cap. Now the magnetic field for this element dB is equal to mu naught by 4 pi I dl cross R by R cube. And what is the magnitude of R? That is 1 meter. That is 1 meter. If you put that mu naught by 4 pi is what? 10 to the power minus 7. Already you know that. Into ideal 2 into 10 to the power minus 2. I cap is there. Cross product. R vector, that is J cap. Divided by magnitude of R cube, 1 rho cube. That is 1 rho cube. Right? So if you solve this one, what you will get? That is equal to 2 into 10 to the power minus 9. What you will solve? 2 into 10 to the power minus 9, that is your dB. And now this is the magnitude. 2 into 10 to the minus 9, 1 get cancelled. I cross J, I cap cross J cap. K. This is the answer. So this gives you the direction. The magnitude of this one is 2 into 10 to the power minus 9 Tesla. What is the unit? Tesla. And it is directed along positive z-axis. K cap is what? Along this direction. Means at the point P, the magnetic field will be like this. Because of this element, this is the direction of magnetic field. If it is minus kk, this is the direction of. Clear? By this way, we can solve the problem by using the Biot-Savart's law. Okay? Okay. Now next, we will go to the applications of Biot-Savart's law. Next is the applications of Biot-Savart's law. We will read. Actually, there are 3 applications in our syllabus. One of the application we will discuss in this video. One of this application is magnetic field at the center of a current carrying circular coil. One of the applications is the magnetic field at the center of a current carrying circular coil. Here, one of the applications is your magnetic field at the center of a current carrying circular coil. So now let us consider a coil, circular coil. Let us consider a circular coil of center at O carries a current I. Let the direction is in this direction. You can take also this direction also. Let it carries a current I in anti-clockwise direction. Let that carries a current I in the anti-clockwise direction. Clear? Now, this current carrying coil of carries a current I in anti-clockwise direction is centered at O. This of a radius, let the radius of this loop or the coil is suppose R. R is the radius of the coil. R is the radius of this coil. This coil consists of small elements. This coil consists of small elements. Means, if you consider small element here, that is dl. It means, it will show that, let us consider a small element dl. At this point, A, this element is A to B, this element dl. And this coil consists of such type of small elements. If you combine such elements like this, it will give you this loop. It consists of such elements dl. Now my point is here to find out the current, magnetic field at O due to the current in the coil. How we find out this one? Take a small element AB on the loop, and the loop consists of such type of small elements. Clear? What is the current element? AD, the current, this is the small element. Current element means I is the current, I into dl. That is the current element. What is its direction? The current element, IDL. It is along the direction of current. In what direction the current is flowing? In anti-clockwise. So in a circular, it is going in anti-clockwise means, as you know, when a particle is revolving in a circular path, what is the direction at the center O? What is the direction of velocity here? The velocity direction is tangential. And the particle is revolving like this. In the same case, the current is flowing, this means the current element will be tangential. this is the direction of ideal. This is the direction of ideal. Now, this is the direction of ideal, and as you know, where to find out the magnetic field? At O. The magnetic field is at O. So to find this magnetic field, with this element as center, what is the position vector of this point? Where you want to find the magnetic field? In your Weier's law. Remember that when you find the point P, consider a small element, ideal. And what is the direction of this ideal? The point P with the position vector R. This center at ideal in the same procedure. Here is the center concept is small, very small element. So this is the position vector of, we can write this as a, what is the direction? Towards the point. Where to find out the magnetic field, your direction should be towards that point. Here we want to find the magnetic field at O, so it will be directed from this point to, means every element to O. This is the case. Okay. So what I consider here, if I write, consider a circular coil, consider a circular coil of radius R carrying current I. The coil consists of small elements here. The coil consists of small elements here. And now here, suppose this circular coil of radius R, then this length of this coil is how much? The length of this coil is the circumference. What is that length? 2 pi R. The length, the total length of this one is 2 pi into, if radius is R, then it is 2 pi R. That already you know that, we will apply that. Now to find out the magnetic field at O, we use the Biot-Savart's law. According to Biot-Savart's law, for the small element ideal, what is the magnetic field at a point O, which is at a distance R from this, according to Biot-Savart's law? According to Biot-Savart's law, the magnetic field at O due to the current element IDL is dB, I will write in vector form, dB is equal to mu naught by 4 pi I dl cross R divided by R cube. That is in vector form. Is that clear? dB equal to mu naught by 4 pi I dl cross R by R cube. Is that clear now? Okay. Now you find out in this figure, you see here, what is the angle between this ideal and R? Because ideal cross R, current element into R. What is the angle between these two? The angle between these two is this one. What is this angle? Perpendicular. So if I write this as, then the magnitude of this one, let me write here. The magnitude, then we will go to the direction part later. The magnitude of dB is given by dB is equal to mu naught by 4 pi I dl R sin theta divided by R cube. What is theta here? That is 90. Then what is sin 90? Theta is 90. So dB is equal to mu naught by 4 pi I dl by R square. Because 1 R get cancelled, sin 90 is 1. psi 90 is equal to 1. This is the magnetic field for the small element ideal. Now this small element, it consists of this type of small elements. To calculate the total magnetic field at O due to the total loop or the complete coil. For small element, this is the magnetic field. For the whole loop, the magnetic field at O due to the current carrying loop is given by B, that will be integration of dB, which is equal to integration of mu naught by 4 pi I dl by r square. But remember, we will consider the limit here. What is the limit? Let the ideal start from here. As you know, this ideal is very small. So let's consider this a point, ideal, small element. Clear? dl, like that. So the dl starts from here. So initial let this is 0. From here, this dl goes on increase like this. So it will reach at which point? Again this. So how much? The total length is covered. Ideal. That is up to 2 pi r. 0 to 2 pi r. That is the limit. So if you solve this one, B is equal to, all are constant. What are the constant? Mu naught by 4 pi I by r square is constant. Integration over 0 to 2 pi r into d. Then this will give you what? Again, if you write this one, clear na? Then we will go to, okay. So now, so this is our dB. Now do the integration. So this is B equal to integration of dB. This much is the B, total magnetic field. So B is equal to mu naught by 4 pi, right? Mu naught by 4 pi I by r square, integration of dl, L with limits 0 to 2 pi r. Clear? Then B is equal to mu naught by 4 pi I by r square. Upper limit is what? 2 pi r minus lower limit. So B is equal to mu naught by 4 pi I by r square into 2 pi r. So this is equal to mu naught by 4 pi I by r into 2 pi. So this is the required expression for the magnetic field at the center of the coil O. At the center of the coil O. Clear? So this is the expression for the magnetic field at the center of the coil which is carrying current I. Clear? Or you can write this as or you can write B is equal to mu naught by 4 pi I by r. Sorry, this 2 pi get cancelled, so mu naught by 2 I by r. So I will take this expression, or you can take also this, also the same thing, 2 pi get cancelled. But why I have taken this, I will tell you later. Clear? Now you see here, again that part is here. So this is the magnetic field at the center O due to the current carrying. Then what is its direction? What is the direction of this current? How that can be known? That can be known by the right hand thumb rule. What is that rule? Now, as you know, this is always perpendicular to the plane containing DL and R. Because that is DL cross R. Magnetic field B is equal to DL cross R. So that is the form. So on that basis, we will use the right hand thumb rule. So what is that right hand thumb rule? So let me write here the direction of the magnetic field can be determined by right hand thumb rule. What is that right hand thumb rule? Now I am expressing the right hand thumb rule. Call the fingers, the tip of the fingers along the direction of current. The current is along this direction. It is anti-clockwise. The thumb gives you the direction of magnetic field. Where the magnetic field? At O. The magnetic field is perpendicular. The magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane containing dl and r. On this plane, all the coil and r, dl are there on this plane. So it is perpendicular. It may be upward or downward. That can be known by this right hand thumb rule. Right? So what in this case? The direction of the magnet can be determined by the right hand thumb rule. In this case, what is the direction here? Call the fingers in the direction of current. Then the thumb gives you the direction of magnetic field. So I can write the direction of the magnet can be determined by the right hand thumb rule. That is perpendicular upward. In this case. In this case, it is perpendicular upward. So let me write the rule for your understanding. Let me write the rule again. So the rule is that rule to find the direction of magnetic field at the center of the circular coil carrying current. What is this rule? Call the fingers of the right hand. Call the fingers of the right hand along the direction of current, the thumb gives the direction of magnetic field. This is the rule, and this is for your understanding. No need to write in the derivation. It is for your understanding, but in this case, it is perpendicular upward. So if by this case, if the current is along the clockwise direction, then call the finger along the clockwise direction like this. Call the finger. The thumb gives you the direction. It is perpendicular inward. So I can write this as, for this case, for anti-clockwise current, magnetic field is perpendicular, anti-clockwise, perpendicular upward. How can you show that perpendicular upward? Symbolically you can show the magnetic field perpendicular upward, right? And for anti-clockwise, for clockwise current, let me write, for clockwise current, perpendicular inward. How can you show that by symbol? Cross. Perpendicular inward by the right hand, it is perpendicular inward. That is from the rule to find. Clear? So, again another thing, then we apply this. So we got the expression for magnetic field at the center of the circular coil. Clear? Then, next part is here. So what is the expression we got from here? For this coil, for this current carrying coil, let me write here. For a current carrying coil like this, current is I, O center, the magnetic field at the center is B is equal to mu naught by 4 pi I by R 2 pi. What is the meaning of writing this? As I have told, I will discuss later. That is the case. So the current is flowing and this is the radius R. Because of this loop, the magnetic field is this much. And what is 2 pi? 2 pi is the angle subtended by the loop at the center. So when this is the loop, complete loop, this is the angle, how much angle it is subtend? 2 pi radian. And that should be always in radian. So already you know the relation of degree and radian. Radian 180 degree pi radian 1 degree pi by 180 radian. If theta degree, then pi by 180 into theta, this much of radian. That relation always you remember. In the same case, in this loop, suppose there is a half of the loop is there. Circular coil, half of semicircle. It is a semicircle, it is given. It is a semicircle, like this. It is a semicircle. So for this semicircle, this is the radius. So obviously this is center O, this is the radius R, and this is the R. R is the radius. In this case, now the formula for semicircle, now you say, tell me, for semicircular loop. Semicircular loop. What the formula is right? What is the angle subtended by this portion? It is pi radian. So I will write B is equal to mu naught by 4 pi I by R into pi. If in that case, if it is given like this is O with radius, some portion of R. This R, let the current is flowing like this, and it subtend an angle theta, radian. If the angle, this R subtend an angle theta at the center. This is a circle, this is a large circle, of which this portion, for this current, what is the magnetic field here? For this, what it will do? For this case, for an arc subtend an angle of theta radian at the center. For an arc subtend an angle of theta radian at the center, B is equal to mu naught by 4 pi I by R into theta. That is in radian. If this theta is given in degree, then I can write for theta in degree, for this one, for theta in degree, suppose in the question it is given 60 degree, it subtend an angle of 60 degree. So what I will do? Pi by 180 into 60, that much of radian, pi by 3. So I can write this in form B is equal to mu naught by 4 pi I by R, then theta is degree, so pi by 180 into theta. I will write this one. This is the formula for theta in degree. Clear? So this is the case of your, but the expression for magnetic field. Clear? Now, so this is the different forms, and you will remember the formula. So the point is that for a circular coil, current carrying circular coil, the magnetic field at the center is mu naught by 4 pi I by R into 2 pi. That is the angle. 2 pi is the angle subtended by the loop at the center. How much is the angle? Accordingly, we will multiply that. If it is a half semicircle pi, if it is a theta degree, then it is theta. So this is the case. And what is the direction of this one? The direction is perpendicular, maybe inward or outward, by according to right hand thumb rule. Call the fingers in the direction of current. The thumb will give you the, if the coil is like this, the current is flowing in this coil like this, then the thumb will give you perpendicular in this direction. Or the current is flowing like this, then the thumb will give you the direction. So at the O, it may be perpendicular inward or perpendicular outward. That we can show. Clear? So this is about the first application of your Biot-Savart law. And remember, by using this formula, by this loop, we can solve so many problems. And this is very great application in different parts. And this is a straight Biot-Savart's law. Derive the expression for magnetic field at the center of a current carrying circular coil. That is going to be a long question. Clear? So go through this video and you will get the clear idea. Okay? So thank you. Now go in detail about this thing. Thank you.